There's no way I'm playing in Japan!
That is Jack Elliott, played by Tom Selleck in the 1992 film Mr. Baseball, which is what inspired me to make this video because it's a movie about an American ball player that ends up in Japan to finish out his contract. The movie does a good job at showing what it's like for a foreigner to play in Japan and what they must do to navigate the culture clash. It's pretty funny actually watching what it's like to feel like a fish out of water, and the movie gives a neat insight into the fandom of Japanese baseball, where the food is different, the chants, the dress, all the traditions, which makes it for an awesome atmosphere. Mr. Baseball, I feel, is an underappreciated baseball film. Not only is it accurate and Tom Selleck looks like a natural ball player, but it shows how baseball is a language that we share across borders and culture. Plus, it features baseball cards, so it's a winner in my book. And today I'm at Publix Field at Joker Marching Stadium here in Lakeland, Florida, where it was the filming location of that ending scene in Mr. Baseball. The movie ends with Jack Elliott taking batting practice in Lakeland, Florida, where he is now a coach for the Detroit Tigers. And you can see what the stadium used to look like back then, and it's been totally renovated. This is what it looks like today. It's a beautiful stadium and will be the backdrop for this video as we take a look at players who experience something similar to what Jack Elliott experienced in the movie Mr. Baseball. And we're all familiar with all the Japanese ball players that have come to America to play in Major League Baseball, starting with Hideo Nomo. We had Hideki Matsui, of course Ichiro, now Shohei Ohtani, Koji Uehara, Okidoki, Okajima. So we've had quite a few Japanese ball players come over and play in America. But today we're going to talk about the ball players who went to play in Japan, also known as the Gaijin. So let's take a look at some of the ball players who went to Japan and had success there. This probably is going to end up being a two-part series. This is just a few of the guys that I want to feature, and I'm always adding to my collection, so I will have new guys added to the list in a future video. And before we get to the real ball players, let's start with this card from 1992 Upper Deck featuring Tom Selleck and Frank Thomas, who plays Ricky Davis in the movie, Jack Elliott's replacement. And on the back here, as you can see, card SP4. It shows Tom Selleck in the movie taking batting practice with the Chunichi Dragons. Just a fun card to commemorate the movie. Now let's get into the ball players. I want to start with the first ex-major leaguer to play in Japan, and that's Don Newcomb. Now we all know Don as a legendary pitcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, but in 1962, for the Chunichi Dragons, Don was a position player. He played outfield and first base, and he did pretty well with the bat. He batted .262, hit 12 home runs, and had 43 RBIs. So I wanted to start with Don because of his impact in Japanese baseball as one of the first Gaijin. Now the first star who had some longevity and put up some great numbers was Darryl Spencer. He batted .275, hit 152 home runs, and had 391 RBIs. He had multiple seasons of 30 home runs, was a two-time All-Star, nicknamed the Monster. He also hit for the cycle, which until then, they didn't really keep tabs on who hit for the cycle, so he's credited for that. Now this ball player joined Don Newcomb and Larry Doby as one of three players to ever play for the Negro Leagues, the Major Leagues, and the Japanese League, and that's George Altman. George had a great career in the NPB, batting .309, 205 home runs, 656 RBIs. He batted over 306 times, had multiple seasons of 30 or more home runs, was a three-time All-Star, and a three-time Best Nine, which is awarded annually to the best player at each position in the league. The next two ball players are not only brothers, but legends in the NPB, and we're going to start with Leron Lee, who revolutionized the Japanese view of foreign players by playing in Japan during his prime, raising the standard of all foreign players thereafter. During his great career, he batted .320, had 283 home runs, 912 RBIs. He was a four-time All-Star and a four-time Best Nine. And until recently, he held the record for the highest career batting average of anyone with 4,000 or more at-bats. In 1978, he convinced his brother Leon Lee to go play with him in Japan, and Leon had a great career himself. He batted .308, hit 268 home runs, and had 884 RBIs. He was always a fan favorite and became the first African American to manage in Japan when he led the Oryx Blue Wave. Leon is also the father of former Major League All-Star Derek Lee, and he contributed to the movie Mr. Baseball as an advisor thanks to his experience in Japan. The Lee brothers hold a very special place in Japanese baseball history and will forever be considered greats. The next ball player had one of the most successful runs in Japanese baseball history, and that is Randy Bass. Randy Bass, for his career, batted .337, had 202 home runs and 486 RBIs. He was a two-time Triple Crown winner in 1985 and 1986. He holds the single-season batting average record at .389, and for 4 consecutive seasons, he won the batting title. In 1985, he hit 54 home runs, falling 1 home run short of tying the record of 55 held by Sadaharu Oh. The next guy was a crowd favorite, and that's because he hit moonshots, and that is Ralph Bryan. For his career, Bryan batted .261 but hit 259 home runs, had 641 RBIs. In 1989, he hit 49 home runs and was the league's MVP. In that season, he hit 3 home runs in a game 5 times, tying Sadaharu Oh's record. Though he struck out a lot, he did hit bombs and was a crowd favorite for many years. Now this next player had perhaps the best career in Japan, and that is Carl Tuffy Rhodes. For his career, Tuffy Rhodes batted .286, hit 464 home runs, and had 1,269 RBIs. In 2001, he hit 55 home runs in a season, tying Sadaharu Oh's home run record. He was also the MVP. He was a 10-time All-Star, a 7-time Best 9 award winner, and a 4-time home run leader and 3 times RBI leader. Rhodes is one of the greatest NPB players of all time. His 464 home runs are a record for a foreign-born player and is ranked 13th on the all-time list. The next player was also a great one, and that is Bobby Rose. For his career, Bobby Rose batted .325. He hit 167 home runs and had 808 RBIs. He was a 4-time All-Star, but a 6-time Best 9 award winner. He was the 1999 batting champ, and 3 times he hit for the cycle. In 2019, he was voted the best second baseman of all time for the Yokohama Bay Stars. That brings us to Alonzo Powell. Alonzo Powell, for his career, batted .313 with 116 home runs, 397 RBIs. He is the first foreign player to win 3 consecutive batting titles. He was a 2-time All-Star and a 4-time Best 9 in center field. The next ball player is from Venezuela, and that is Alex Cabrera. Alex Cabrera batted .303 for his career, hit 357 home runs, and had 949 RBIs. He was a 5-time All-Star and a 5-time Best 9 award winner. In 2002, he hit 55 home runs to tie the home run mark set by Sadaharu Oh and Carl Rhodes. He also won the MVP that year. The next player is Matt Merton, who exploded on the Japanese baseball scene with a great rookie season. He became the 4th player to ever have 200 hits in a rookie year. For his career, he batted .310, hit 77 home runs, and had 417 RBIs. He was a 4-time Best 9 winner and a 4-time All-Star. In 2010, he broke Ichiro's single-season hits record with 211 hits, a record that would later be broken by Shogo Akiyama. And last, but certainly not least, from Curacao, we have Vladimir Ballington. Nicknamed Coco, he was a record-breaking ball player in Japan. For his career, he batted .266, hit 301 home runs, and had 794 RBIs. He was a 6-time All-Star, a 2-time Best 9 winner, led the league in home runs 3 times, but none more important than the 2013 season when he broke the single-season home run record that was held by Sadaharu Oh, Carl Rhodes, and Alex Cabrera. He hit 60 home runs that year and won the league's MVP. Well, that does it from Publix Field at Joker Marchand Stadium in Lakeland, Florida. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and stay tuned for future videos. Thank you for watching.
Call me Chief.